Give it a go.
When is the last time we podcasted?
If I know. I'm logged out of the app. I can't get in.
Me too. May 26th, a month later. Okay.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to We Watch TV. It is the podcast about the TV that we watch. I am Daniel. She is Hope. This is episode 137. What's up?
This is the podcast that we watch TV and don't talk about it now for a month.
Don't talk about it. This is the podcast where we watch TV and do not speak about it whatsoever. First up, baseball.
Baseball. You're going out of order on the list.
I've forgotten how to podcast.
You have. I sent you show notes.
I know. I'm looking right at them.
So June came and went almost. Today is as the time people might be listening to this podcast. It is the last day of June 30th, because there's not 31 days in June.
Correct.
I wonder why that. Like, why is that? Like, why do some months have like 31 days, some 30, and then like others, like February has like leap year? Like, how does that work? Like, is it like a lunar calendar?
You're asking me how a calendar works?
No, but like, who decides that? Like, is there
who decides that, or who decided it?
Because this like is like our
Like-
American calendar. Are we the same thing as like other countries? I'm serious. Because there's like the Chinese calendar, right? Or is that like a Chinese New Year or something? Like, there's like a lunar calendar, right?
That's the moon cycles.
So how do they decide what months have what days? And who did this?
A bunch of old dudes from like 1,000 years ago decided it. And everybody's agreed that at least in our red neck of the world that works fine.
How does leap year work? I know like we have like the
Leap year is because the calendar, it doesn't work perfectly because the day is not actually 24 hours. A day is actually 23 point blah, 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 blah hours. And so that blah, 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 blah equals out to an extra day
You're very
every
loud.
4 years. And so they have to do a leap day to keep the calendar from getting all screwed up.
What is it on 30 Rock? Like Leap Day William? Is that who?
I think that's it. Yeah, I always forget Leap Day William because it's
Leap Day
the
William.
buttons and bows from Frasier
Oh,
when it
yeah,
comes to
take
Leap
a
Day.
leap.
And it's not Leap Day. We're not even close to Leap Day. I don't know why we're talking about Leap
Wait.
Day.
Somehow, well, we were talking about calendars.
Yeah, we use the Gregorian calendar.
It is officially
Made by Greg.
Summer. A lot of people, which I am all about like the unofficial beginning of holidays. I feel most people are like, I consider like Memorial Day the start of summer. I consider July 5th the start of the Halloween season, and then September 1st the start of fall. Two different things. It's like a summer.
What's the song of summer? What's
What
the
is
song
this?
of the summer? Do we have one yet?
Probably that AI song that
No.
the Puerto Rico.
No.
I don't know. Like last year, it was like nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. There are some contenders, but like too. Like okay, so right after Thanksgiving, I would consider that like the start of winter, like the unofficial. But we are officially in summer. See, you tried to get me to forget what I was saying, but I just circled back, like the sun circling around Earth for the years.
The only time you're able to remember what you were talking about here recording the podcast.
Yes. I guess. I don't know what the song of the summer is. There's maybe for me it's I Knew It, I Knew You. The Taylor Swift song from the Toy Story movie, because I feel like I've been playing that a lot. I love that movie and that's such a cute song. I mean, Ariana has a new single out, Hate That I Made You Love Me, but I wouldn't consider that song of the summer. We haven't really found our like espresso yet. Like, remember that was the song of the summer?
That's why I asked
ago.
the question in the first place.
Aren't you just
I
a
guess they
barrel
didn't,
of
so-
laughs? We'll get to your
Anyways.
predicament in a minute.
Um,
We've done a lot.
Yeah,
so
hey,
far.
before we talk about what we've done, we do apologize. We did intend to have more podcasts out in the month of June, and then
We didn't.
we didn't. And there's a lot of reasons why,
A lot of reasons.
but
why.
yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
We'll try better in July, but I'm not going to hold myself to it. It's not like you.
You're
It's not,
supposed to
it's
watch.
not like we're getting paid or anything.
You're supposed to watch some Christmas movies in July.
Oh.
You made this promise like in December.
So
Your
our next
Christmas
episode that
podcast.
comes out on July 31st.
Yeah, are there 31 days in July?
Yeah.
Okay. this is going wildly off script. All right, so we've had a lot going on. We've actually like gotten out of the house and done things besides going to like, doctor's offices and Starbucks. We went to a concert.
Yeah.
That you were actually probably the most
No.
excited I've ever seen you to be at a concert. We saw Weird Al in Charleston, West Virginia.
That's pretty good.
It was one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to, honestly. I didn't realize that I guess I knew he would perform like multiple hits because when you think about his career has like spanned like a really long time. But I knew he would be doing his different songs. But did you anticipate him like doing like costume changes and like elaborate numbers for each one?
I mean, all other musicians do at their concerts, so why would you expect less of Weird Al?
I guess I just didn't see him coming out in the fat suit for your
Consummate
butt is
professional.
wide and so's mine.
A consummate professional.
What was your favorite part of the concert?
The intro was really fun when he was like singing Tacky and walking through the hallway, and then he pied
'Cause I'm tacky.
Puddles in the face. That was really good.
And then he like showed up.
Obviously, Amish Paradise.
Stage.
I know I have a
Yes.
basic answer for
That's
my
mine
favorite Weird Al song.
That's mine too.
But I love Amish Paradise, so that
Brought
part
down
was
the
really
house.
great. Yeah.
And then he came out for the encore, and that's when he did the Jedi song.
Yeah.
What's that song called? The Saga Continues or something?
Yeah, I think so.
It was really good, though. It was so much fun. Puddles was good. I don't even like clowns, but the opener was good. And people were locked in to Puddles.
It was weird.
I've been to a lot of concerts where people, like, aren't exactly as present for the openers. So we're, like, getting food behind. And it's always, okay, you know what really gets on my nerves? When we're like, okay, well, maybe, it's taking a while to make this product. And then you realize it's just because the people in front of you don't know what to get. You and I ordered our pepperoni rolls and had them within, like, less than 30 seconds. But we were in that line forever. So we're, like, going up, and we have to, like, walk past the people on our row awkwardly. And it's already dark. Puddles had I think he, like, just started when we were walking, like, to our seats. And everybody was locked into Puddles. And you had told me that he had, like, a big fan base. I guess I just didn't know the hype. And then all the Kevin Costner references with Puddles.
It's just a joke, I guess. I don't know.
I was just half expecting Kevin Costner to show up. What about you?
That'd have been weird.
You could say part of the Weird Al experience. Yeah, Amish Paradise was my favorite part of the basic. I really liked, though, when he did Smells Like Nirvana.
That was good.
I think,
too,
like,
yeah.
I got up and, like, audibly cheered. It was so much fun. And he had, like, the wig on to look like Kurt Cobain. And if you notice, he kept the microphone, like, bent down so he could, like, hunch over to sing. I don't know. I guess you're right. Like, a lot of performers do change. I just wasn't expecting him to, like I said, bust out the fat suit for fat. Like, it was a really, really fun concert. Anything else you want to say about the concert?
If you like Weird Al, he's got a ton of tour dates. Like, basically, he's touring until, what, October, I think?
Yeah, that man is booked and busy.
Go check it out, because he's going all over the country, into Canada, and I think even into some Europe.
Europe?
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. We have T-shirts that have the dates on them. Yeah. If he's not in Europe, maybe he'll come there someday.
But it was a lot of fun, and like you said, he's one of the few artists that I think you could say like has spanned at least 45 years of like 80s, 90s, 2000s.
Well, you do know that
2010s.
Michael Jackson copied "Beat It" from "Eat It." If you know, you know. Go watch the biopic with Daniel Radcliffe to learn more about that joke.
Yeah.
That's the most, like I said, excited I've ever seen you at a concert. Like, I've seen you have fun, but, like, Daniel is the type of person, like,
when she says excited, by the way,
he
folks,
has fun.
she means that, like, I'm smiling and tapping my foot along quietly to the music.
Like, there'll be times he'll be like, you know how he's always like, it's fine. That's just kind of like how he is in life. Like, it's fine, whatever. But, like, I can always tell, like, when there's actual joy and you were, like, really into it. Because we've said for years that we thought Weird Al should be, like, the halftime performer.
At the Super Bowl, yeah.
At the Super Bowl, yeah. I feel like people should know what I'm talking about. I feel like it would make everybody happy. And now that I've seen him in concert, and I'm pretty sure he was singing live most of the time, too.
Yeah, I agree.
So, no, like, excellent. No notes. Great time. So we also took a trip to the Columbus Zoo the following week, and we did things 2 weekends in a row. What is up with that? Who are these
Still
people?
exhausted from it.
We took our nephews. We went to the zoo. We picked probably like a very hot day for June in Columbus. But it was really fun. We saw lots of good animals. What was your favorite animals that we saw that day?
I think it was the wolves.
That's
day.
what we saw. Like first off, they're normally asleep.
And that's always the good fun part about going to a zoo is you never know which, like, you know what animals to expect to see, but you never know which ones are going to like be out being active and putting on a show.
Yeah.
And I think the wolves just like I've never seen them up moving around like they were, and they were like all over the place and just active.
They reminded me of like the dogs like that I could like own. Like they were just like running around, like you said. Normally they're like in the shade under the tree asleep
in a pile.
I think we like showed up near feeding time or snack time or something. My favorite was the giraffes because we have at the Columbus Zoo. You do have to pay a little bit extra, but I don't think it's like a ton big upcharge. And you can feed a giraffe, which that's the closest. You can't touch it, but you can like hold out kind of like lettuce, I'd say is what they give you.
It's not kind of like, it is.
Okay, it is. Sorry, I didn't know we have had like a technical term. I guess it's just lettuce, Mr. Daniel, giraffe food expert. But my nephew wanted to do that. The other nephew wanted nothing to do with it. He was like, I'll stand there. He's like, but I don't want to accidentally get licked. I'll watch you guys. So I was like, fine, I'll take your turn, obviously. And so my younger nephew and I, we fed the giraffes. And that's like really, you can't pet them. But that's like the closest I feel like an average person is going to get to a giraffe. So it's a really cool experience. And we fed Bobby, the giraffe, who is the proud papa of the youngest baby giraffe at the Columbus Zoo. And they just picked, you got to vote on what to name the newest giraffe. And the name that I wanted won, Jasper. They announced his new name on like World Giraffe Day, which was like on June, I think it was like the same day as West Virginia Day, June 20th or something. Anyway, maybe it was after that. I don't know. They did not have the name picked out then, and we didn't get to see the baby because they had the baby up that day, but we did get to see the baby daddy. And I can say Bobby was a very wonderful giraffe. He calmly took the food because I've done it before. I'm not, when I say like aggressive, that's not what I mean because that's the wrong terms. Overly excited, maybe. Like I've had like the first time I ever did that was like almost a decade ago, and I remember the giraffe did lick my hand because it was like, give me this piece of lettuce. Bobby was just very patient, very good. There were like my hand did not get licked, which I mean, if your hand gets licked, it's fine. But you didn't feed the giraffes, but you watched it. Did you enjoy the giraffe experience? Because we haven't done that in probably like over 10 years.
Yeah, I always like hanging out with the giraffes. They're cool.
Getting to be that close to them, I think, is what's cool. And then we saw one. I liked the cheetah too that we saw. That was just like laying. We didn't get to watch the cheetah run because we missed it. It was like laying on top of like the vehicle. That was fun. But yeah, lots of good animals. And I was surprised because I was a little worried because it was so hot that we weren't going to see a ton of animals. But we saw like they were very active for a hot day.
Yeah, it was the tigers were kind of as the day went on. The stuff that we don't, and maybe one of these days we need to go in and actually go the opposite direction first and hit up like the tigers and gorillas before we go over there because it seems like we always end up in that end of the park last when it's the hot of the day.
The gorillas were pretty active.
Yeah, that's true.
The tigers were, what do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger
They're all laying on their backs.
Yes, because the tiger, and then what was the other, one of the other big,
the big lion.
When we say on their backs, we don't mean their side, like full-blown, like belly in the air. Maybe it's
spread
like,
eagle.
More cooling that way. I thought the gorillas were active, though.
That's true.
You totally made me, you're like shaking your foot over there like a madman right now.
I'm unmedicated at the moment, and
we'll get into that
in a little bit. So you're just gonna have to give me a break.
You got the sugars.
I was very doubtful I was gonna be able to pull this podcast episode off.
Oh, I had to do it sick last time, so you're just doing it, injured again. Which we're gonna leave that for our next topic of conversation here in a few minutes. Anything else you want to say about the zoo?
Not at all.
You got canned Gatorade.
Always a good time.
I think, didn't we name one of our zoo episodes Canned Water or something where we talked about the last time we were at the zoo?
It's possible. We're weird and dumb and mundane.
And like mundane?
That. Yeah.
I would say we're the opposite of mundane.
We're the only people I've ever met that are impressed by canned water. No one cares.
It's cool.
I agree. It tastes better. It's awesome.
Ooh,
You can reseal the
we
cap.
saw the
It's-
baby
it's
elephants
awesome.
again. They were cute because we got to see them like in November, and there are 2 baby elephants at the zoo. And one of them, when we went in this past November, it was like he had only been out for like a couple days. So like we got to see that they're a little bigger now.
Yeah, especially the older one is a lot bigger now. The younger one, like, isn't. I didn't think was noticeably bigger, but again, of course, what do I know about elephants?
Well, supposedly one of the moms is pregnant again, and they're having another elephant is due
It's
soon.
a party up in that place.
I guess like spring break up here. All right, so you blurted out baseball. For the first, me, I don't know. Have you watched the College World Series before?
No.
I have never watched the College World Series before. And I knew WVU baseball has always been pretty good. Like, they've been pretty good for, not always, but like the last several years, they've been pretty good. Well, this year, they hosted the Super Regional, learn what that was, at home, won, and they got to go to, and we started like locking in that, like then. Basically, unless you've been living under a rock, everybody has finally discovered the best tradition in college sports is that when WVU wins a sporting event, no matter what sporting event, it's not just baseball, which I think some people were thinking like, oh, this is what the baseball team does. No, every team does it. We always play Country Roads after our win, and Country Roads is a very popular song right now. But, I'm going to gatekeep. It's our song. Thank you. And don't be like, oh, but if blah, 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 it could be about Western Virginia. No, it's confirmed it's about us. And then John Denver came and performed at Mountaineer Field. It is our song. And people are like, locking in that this is the best tradition. I think what happened was after we walked off, I think Kentucky, ESPN did not pan away from it. They showed the whole thing and they didn't talk over it. It went viral. Suddenly I'm on like TikTok and I'm like, what? Why is WVU? What is going on? Like, this is just and then I'm sitting there like, oh my, like I'm not taking the positives out of it. I'm like, how do people not know about this? And getting like cranky about it. And then I'm like, no, we do it after every sport. But I'm not going to call us fair weather fans because we always root for them well, but I don't really think that the baseball games are on, not all of them, not every single baseball game for college is on TV, at least to my knowledge. It's not always televised.
Not like widely televised, no. I think
Yeah.
you probably, if you're like in near
Like, I'm sure
Morgantown,
these regional events
Yeah.
were, yes. But we watched it. It was really interesting to watch. I think it was the last game, one of the last games before we like earned our spot in the actual College World Series. And I think the Mountaineers had like 12 runs and the other team had 1. And there was a delay and we had to go, like, there was like a big rain delay. So I think, and then it came back like the 8th or the 9th inning, whatever. There's a big delay. And obviously, you need 3 outs and, you're going to the College World Series. And I'm like, I don't know about this because I'm combining WVU PTSD mixed with Pirates baseball, PTSD. And I have seen both of these teams just like ruin everything at the last minute. So, and I saw a lot of other WVU fans that were the same way. And then like I see other people commenting like, why are you guys acting like this? I'm like, oh, walk a mile in our shoes, baby. But it was really fun watching. I really enjoyed watching the College World Series. Unfortunately, I think it was in Omaha because they called us the Omaneers or something silly like that. Unfortunately, we did not win. I learned how the College World Series works. It almost works like a March Madness type thing. Kind of, sort of. With
That
like a
and
bracket.
like a knockout bracket and all kinds of other stuff. It's really strange.
But cool. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't fun. It's weird if you're used.
We had to like learn it because we had
if
never
you're
watched it
used
before.
if you're used to Major League Baseball, it's a weird format.
Yeah. Because like what happened was like we beat Troy in like the first round, and then we ended up playing them again because they ended up beating, I think, Ole Miss. And they had like, so basically like we won. So then our next game was a double elimination and they had a single elimination. So they absolutely had to win. And then we lost to UNC. But then when we were both in our single elimination game, then we got to play Troy again.
Yeah.
And then we had to play UNC again, unfortunately. And then once we lost to UNC, we could only lose one time. We were like, if we had just beat UNC the first time, I think we were like 2 games away from making, like that would have been, I think, like the title game, right?
I don't know. I only know the rules of the up to the point we made it, and after that, I don't know how they work anymore. So
I don't even
idea.
know who ended up winning. I don't think UNC won. I think did Oklahoma win?
Is it over? I have no idea.
I'm gonna look that
like
up.
I don't have a clue. I said I stopped paying attention the moment WVU's out of it. So it's completely beyond me what happened there.
It looks like Oklahoma ended up winning. But whatever. It was really what I really liked about it is the Mountaineer fans are going to always show. Like that, like the Mountaineers where we play baseball, like our stadium where we hosted the Super Regional is very small, but they had like people were out on like the mountain or the hillside. That place was packed. People were outside of it, and then a lot of people, like I'm watching it, in Omaha. It sounded like a home game. Even when we played UNC, it sounded like a home game. Like, we will travel well. The Mountaineer fans, we are starving for something good to be happy about. And I think, like, I would consider baseball, it's not the major sports in there, like football and basketball, but I would put that at least in, like, that 3 slot probably. Especially because I think, I learned this from TikTok, like, college baseball is also continuing to grow and grow more and more in popularity as well. So I felt like we were kind of in that at the right time, but it was just really fun to see the fan base come together. What do you think about that?
No, it was good. It was a good time. I like baseball anyway, so it's nice to be able to have a reason to watch baseball. And because baseball is fun until your team sucks so badly that like you're almost guaranteed a loss when you watch it, and then it's not as much fun anymore.
Yeah. And I always forget until I sit down to watch baseball, like how much I enjoy just watching the game of baseball. Like if you put the three big sports in front of me and you said I'm going to take away like your affiliations to each team, so it's just these random teams playing basketball, these random teams playing baseball, and these random teams playing football, which of these 3 sports would I rather watch? I'm probably going to pick baseball. Definitely if they were like, okay, these 3 sports, and I'm going to send you to a game.
Oh,
I'm
for sure.
Definitely going to pick baseball.
That's easy.
Ballparks are really nice to be at. What would you pick for just watching the TV? Would you still go with football?
Probably, yeah, football.
Probably. But I'm definitely, like, I'm a baseball girly at the end of the day. And it was just, so that was fun for me, but it was just really fun to be excited about, like our women's basketball team was exciting, but this was like, it was like I was really sad to see the journey end, not because I was upset that WVU didn't go on, but I was so proud of like how they did, and that's, we could taste it. And I think we did win the Jello shot thing. We're good at that. They have like a whole like Jello shot challenge. If you don't know anything about the College World Series, unless you root for a terrible school that I hate, I hope one day you get to experience it because it was really cool. And I'm like, this is like, now that I've watched that sporting event, I think even if WVU's not in it, I might like tune in the future years just to see how things are going, because it was really cool. And it was cool learning about it. Cause like you said, it is very different than, how like being used to like the MLB. All right. You seem like you are in just a very sad sack mood. You know how I said, Daniel, I can tell when he's in a good mood. I can tell when he's neutral. I can tell when he's in a bad mood. I can tell when he's in a blah mood. So, Daniel, keeping things interesting for us, I think we did talk about how when you fell down the steps.
I think we talked about that multiple times.
I don't know. This is unrelated to that. Daniel decided to make our Friday interesting. When we say that we miss the pit and we want, season 3 to hurry, it doesn't mean I want to live it in real life. All right, Daniel, I'm going to turn it over to you.
I don't know what you want me to say here. I tore my hamstring on Friday. It is, and I did not know. I found out today. I got to see the orthopedist today. That it's a moderate kind of level 2,
grade 2.
Tear, so it's not like the worst it could possibly. It's probably the best case scenario, honestly.
Yeah. You don't have to have surgery.
No surgery. I just got to do some physical therapy and lay off it for 6 to 8 weeks or so.
Why don't you tell them how you did it?
I was lifting some boxes, and then I sat the boxes down, and I heard a great big pop, and I felt it too.
And I heard a blood curdling scream. And I'm like finally getting ready to like. I was supposed to have a potato pancake for lunch that day.
Oh my gosh, she's never gonna let
We
it
had
go.
mashed potatoes for dinner the night before, and it was like all I was living. You know, when you're like, there's one thing that you're living for truly. And I was like, I'm so stressed out. It's been a hard week. I'm so exhausted. I just want this potato pancake for lunch. So I'm like, yes, almost potato pancake time. He had promised me he was going to make me one. Daniel's very good at cooking. And I hear the blood curdling scream, and I'm like, did this idiot fall down the steps again? Was my first thought. So I like rush over, and I just hear, oh! And I'm like, what did you do? And you're like, hold on, I'm trying to figure it out. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm sitting there thinking like, and you're like, I was lifting a box. And I'm like, did it fall on you? No. And then I'm like, can you get up the steps? I don't know. And I'm like, am I going to have to call EMS?
By the way, it might have been 2 boxes.
2 boxes that you shouldn't. You're not. What did we learn? We learned we're not in our 20s or our 30s anymore. I always thought that I would be the fall risk in this relationship, but you're really taking.
I didn't fall. I just overextended and popped a hammy. It happens. Listen, elite level athletes, it happens.
At least you had already had your coffee, so you didn't fight me too much on that. Like when he fell down the steps, he was like, no, I don't have my coffee yet. I could tell that you were serious when you're like, I think we should maybe go somewhere. I was like, okay. So all I had was iced coffee that morning, you know, a diet of iced coffee. Didn't have any water yet, hadn't had any lunch, and I get dressed as fast as I can, and I gingerly helped Daniel get to the car, even though he wasn't sure if he could drive or not. You were certainly quite the backseat driver. He'd be like, you know you have to turn here, right? And I'm like, yes.
I was just trying to make sure that I got
And then
you
I'm
to the
trying
right
to change
place.
my song on my playlist. And you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm trying to get the music. And you're like, is this the time for music? I'm like, yes, music calms me.
I could put weight on it, by the way. It hurt, but I could put weight on it, which was a precursor to, you know, it not being as bad of an injury now as we now know. Like, I'm feeling better today, although it does still hurt.
Which leg are you bopping up and down right now like a maniac? That's not the one you
The good
heard,
one.
is it?
The good one.
Because it is driving me nuts. Anyway, we went to the ER. It was not like the pit.
In all ways. It was not a good experience, and I felt like I didn't get a whole lot of good answers out of it either.
I like when they took us back and they were like, pick where you want to sit. Do we want chair 1, chair 2? That was labeled. I'm like, okay. We were there forever to basically be told, yeah, we don't know. And that's what I've always figured that we were going to have to meet with an orthopedic doc, but like we didn't know. And I didn't know if they do any tests that day, but you did get some meds to help you through the weekend, which I think once you took those anti-inflammatories, you were able to function a little bit.
Yeah.
And then he's like talking to me. He's like, do you think we're wasting our time? And I'm like, no.
It felt like it, but I feel better today after, talking to orthopedics and they did an x-ray. I mean, the ER wouldn't even x-ray it.
I know, it was really weird.
I don't understand.
It was like, you're not dead, leave.
It really felt like that. It's like, hey, you're not actively dying, so get out of here. We got, and it's not like they were busy.
It makes me, so you guys know that if you're not familiar, our best thing going is since we allegedly watch TV, which we'll get into eventually after we give you our life update. The Pit is our current, double, I think, favorite. We both agree on it for our best thing going. The best thing going needs to be a show that has more than one season out, is currently airing. That is correct.
Yeah, and has a season coming.
Or a season planned.
Yep.
So I could be changing it, though, for me, just so you know. We could be having a late 2026 or back halfer take over for my best thing going. What about you? I might be changing from the Pit.
That's probably a conversation for another day. But yes, I think we need to have that conversation on air.
But currently, the Pit is leading. But now I have my new show. I want to do like an Appalachian version of the Pit. at the ER, the way like hospitals work in rural. And I don't want to put down our hospital. Like there are some great nurses and great doctors there. It was just like the sense of urgency that you see on TV did not exist at this place. And maybe it's because you were mostly coherent. I don't know.
And the youngest person in there by like 20 years.
Literally, they were like, we were like basically talking on the way there about like how, not young anymore. We probably
20,
shouldn't do
yeah,
that with
yeah,
boxes.
exactly.
And the one lady's like, well, you're young. You'll probably be able to walk again. That's what the triage nurse said. And I'm like, well, probably. And then Daniel starts making dad jokes. He's like, so we don't have to cut it off? I'm like, oh, jeez. I finally did get to eat, but I did not get my potato pancake Friday Eve.
Well, maybe if you ask nicely sometime soon, I can make you some potato pancakes this coming week now that I'm somewhat back in working order.
I just please ask that I'm so tired of hearing you scream in the basement.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it happens.
Oh, and then this afternoon, I'm going in to refresh my coffee, and I see him almost trip outside. I'm like watching him like sweetly walk Marvin outside in our yard, and I just watched this idiot almost fall again, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Sweetly walk Marvin. It's because Marvin had shoved his face in a giant pile of grass, and I had to pull him out of it. And then instead of just moving on with his life, he yanks on me back after I yanked on him and almost pulled me over.
All right, well, that's kind of our life update. And my nephew, our oldest nephew, graduated high school, which makes us feel 1,000,000 years old. So we got to go to some college graduation parties. So if any of you have
high school graduation
your
parties.
kids, did I say college?
Yeah.
I've aged him up. What did I accidentally call him at his graduation party? I was like, if anyone wants pictures of the groom, and then I'm like, nope, not the groom. Our brains are working great lately.
We're over there fixing the decorations.
Oh, that was okay. So he had one graduation party for family, and then he had the other with like the family plus the high school friends plus everybody's families and friends. And we get there, we're like Frank and Marie Barone. We see. I was like, Will, come over here and get in front of this banner. And then we're like, this banner's not straight. So suddenly Daniel and I are like adjusting everything, and I'm like, this is who we've turned into.
Everybody just have to deal with it. It's the hand that we've been dealt.
I guess so. So we've been very busy. I can't really anything else that you can think of that's been going on.
I'd rather not.
You'd rather not
think of anything else because it's just going to be bodily injury to me.
Like, I can't with you. Like right after, like literally the day after you have this injury, I watch you almost try to scale the baby gate in the house. I said, what are you doing?
I mowed grass on Sunday.
Don't say that. On the riding mower.
Yes, I was on the riding mower for most of it.
Because he can still sit.
For most of it, yes.
You can sit. Sitting is, also, when we were at the ER, because you were sitting comfortably, they were like, oh, well, you seem fine. And I'm like, get up and walk and show him. You're like, sitting's good.
Well, what was I supposed to be doing? Like, just holding it, going, like Peter Griffin from Family Guy? Like, I don't understand how I'm supposed to display to people that I'm not in pain. Or that I am in pain.
I don't know. I was proud of you, though, when they said, like, rate your pain scale, and you gave it an 8, because I'm like, oh, he's going to be dumb and ruin this. But anyway, in all that time, we've watched quite a bit of TV. We've watched some movies. We actually put up a poll on our Instagram. Daniel, please tell them where they can find us on Instagram if you are new.
We have an Instagram account. It's called @WeWatchTVPodcast on Instagram. So, like, go there, follow us, talk to us,
We
like
haven't
our
posted
stuff.
on there in a bit. But we did do a poll.
Share our stuff. Share it with your friends. Share it with your doctors.
If you're still listening to everything we've said,
Share
you're
it with
still
strangers
sticking
on the
around.
street that you haven't met before.
Our Instagram.
Teachers,
Our poll was,
acquaintances.
for summer movies, which one are you most excited for? And the options were Spider-Man, which comes out later in July, Toy Story 5, which came out last weekend, Supergirl, which came out this past weekend, and the Moana live action, which comes out next week. Spider-Man 1, Toy Story 5 came in second, Supergirl third, and Moana was last. I voted for Spider-Man, but honestly, I am excited for all of these. I think you voted. What did you voted for Supergirl, right?
I think so. I don't know.
Can't
I'm not
remember.
excited for any of these movies, to be honest with you.
You are a killjoy. What are you excited for?
So I'm excited because you brought me Pies and Pints last week,
Pizza.
and that reignited our idea that we should go eat there more often. And I'm excited about the idea of going to eat more Pies and Pints at some point in the near future. So to answer your question, pizza. I'm excited for pizza.
It kind of ruined. You've been such a Little Caesars stan. I don't know if I can go back for a couple weeks. Although you did have Little Caesars today. I forgot about that. That's what you brought when you got back from the from the doctor. You were about ready to agree with me, and then I was like, wait a minute.
I was about ready to agree, but I forgot. Yeah, pizza's good. I like pizza. That's what I get excited for.
Okay, well, so that was our poll. Daniel's excited for pizza, and we have watched a lot of TV. The last episode, I was down with the sickness, so I didn't get to talk about Off Campus too much, and it's since blown up even more. They have officially announced the leads for season 2. They're going to do Dean and Allie. Off Campus is a show on Amazon Prime based off of Elle Kennedy's book series. I really wish I would go back and watch the first season with you. So you could watch it, because the teen drama that you decided to watch with me was a bust. And
True.
It was not good. Like, Off Campus was great. Off Campus, totally. And I feel like a lot of millennial women in particular are liking this, because it really gave me like One Tree Hill vibes. Kind of like that. Like One Tree Hill, like mixed with the OC. Just like that. Just a good teen drama. And they're really more like college students. So they feel like a young 20s, like a YA drama. And it was so good. I loved it so much. I don't know what I said about it when I was sick, other than I loved it and everybody should watch it. But Dean and Allie were kind of like the B couple. And I know their book is the third book, but I'm really excited that they're going to switch them, and they're going to go for the second season, because I think in the books, that couple, I think that I think it's John, Logan, and Grace, and I think they can build up their story the way it works. It's kind of the background, like they did Dean and Allie, because when you have an ensemble cast similar to Bridgerton, you can kind of instead of just having the one main focus, you can kind of interweave these stories, and I think it's going to work really well. Unfortunately, it looks like we are going to be getting the dreaded weekly release for season 2. I think they've already said it, and I'm like, ugh, because season 1 we got it all at once, and it was just so nice to be able to just go right through those babies. But it was so much fun. I really liked it. And I'm excited for season 2. I really liked the characters. There was there was maybe a sprinkling of a love triangle, but not really. And the love stories the main love story with Garrett and Hannah was built up really well. It definitely reminded me of Nathan and Haley when I say One Tree Hill. So the chemistry was good. The acting was good. The music was good. I was very invested, even though I'm pretty sure these people are going to get together. It was just a really well done show. And I wasn't sure that I was going to like it or not, because I had started reading the first book, and the book it's quite cheesy. But when it comes to The Summer I Turned Pretty, I did really like those books, but I do like the show better. So now that I actually did the opposite of what I normally do. I dove right into the show without finishing the book first. And a lot of that was because you were out of town, I wasn't feeling well, and I needed to just lock into something. I'm going to get to why you're giggling at me in a second. And so I did the opposite of what I normally do. I did that one other time before with Bridgerton. I watched the first season of Bridgerton, then I went back and read all those books. But I'm a little more into reading the books now, and I'm hopeful that by the time we get season 2, I will have been caught up and read at least all of the main love couples books. What is so funny?
I forgot.
You already forgot.
Yep.
You started cackling over here. I'm like, what is going on? At 1 minute, he looks like he's going to fall asleep. Next minute, he's wildly tapping his foot, and then he starts laughing at me when I'm talking about Off Campus.
I'm sorry. I'm just hurt. My leg is hurt. My leg is hurt. Please, I'm sorry.
I wish you would have watched Off Campus with me, though. But if you have not watched Off Campus yet and you've been living under a rock, and you like that style of show, it's a really good one, and I would highly recommend it. I think, dare I say, as a cat, I think I still like The Summer I Turned Pretty better from like a certain like way, like emotionally. But when it comes to just like rooting for all of the characters as a whole and the better show, I think Off Campus is better. I think it's better. I would still, somebody was like, you have to marry F Kill, Heated Rivalry, Off Campus, or The Summer I Turned Pretty. And as much as I hated to do it, I would have to kill Heated Rivalry, which hurts me to my very core. Like, this was like the hardest decision I've ever had to make on the show. Worse, harder than any other decision. I would still marry The Summer I Turned Pretty, and then I would, bleep Off Campus. That was like, it was on another podcast that I was listening to. But it was really good. I wish you had watched it. You did, however, watch Hacks. A long time we watched TV. My actual best thing going until, fairly recently with The Pit, because Hacks was no longer in contention because this was its final season. Well, Hacks aired their final episode in May, right?
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've talked about it.
I think we talked about most of the season at this point. So
yeah. What do you think of how they wrap things up?
I thought it was a great finale. I thought it probably will go down for me as one of the best finales to capstone a great series. In all the mistakes of shows of the past, I don't feel like missed a beat, made any mistakes. I thought it was great.
I thought it was.
I don't know what else to say about it than that.
I thought it was the perfect kind of conclusion to Ava and Deborah's friendship, what they mean to each other. And I agree with you. I was a little worried at first because when the episode kicked off, it is revealed that Deborah is sick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh no. I'm like, I'm not going to be able to handle this. And basically, instead of getting treatment, she's like, let's go on. I want to do things on my own terms. I want you to come to Paris with me and take that trip. Because there's the references back to when shows do callbacks to the first season, but it's cheaply done and at the expense of character regression, I don't like it. But when you do it correctly and it feels very full circle and you see the journey of these characters, it is well done. And it is clear to me that they had they knew how they wanted to end the show before they wrote it, and that they tied things back. And she had mentioned oh, you've never been to Paris before. So we got some more Ava Deborah shenanigans, but we also got the emotional thing. And then you realize, obviously Deborah, we don't know what her fate is at the end, but she does choose to live on because of a joke. She's like, wait a minute, I just have another joke. She writes it down, and it was just a really good scene. And then I really liked the transition where they are in Paris, but it kind of panned and suddenly they're back in Vegas, because Vegas, in my opinion, has always been kind of a character to Hacks. But I thought they wrapped it up beautifully. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't overly done. It was to me, the show is the relationship between those two characters and their growth as individuals, but also what they mean together. Because I think you can be soulmates in not a romantic way, and that's what I think those two are, soulmates in a non-romantic way. And then I thought Jimmy and Kayla, the sign of the side characters, their stories, I think turned out to be very satisfying and for me. And Hacks will go down as one of those shows that I feel like I really enjoyed from start to finish. And if you've been sleeping on Hacks, which I feel like a lot of people sleep on the show, it gets the awards love, but I don't see a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah.
I need you guys to go watch it. It is that girl. It is a very good show. And even though you just heard us, because we are a spoiler podcast, sorry for telling you that
43 minutes
into this episode, you won't really remember what I say, and you'll just enjoy the journey. Do you have anything else you want to say about Hacks?
Nope, it was great. It was good. It was, like I said, top 5 series finales. I'm not going to rank them for you right now, though.
You're not going to rank them?
No.
Name one other show that had a really good series finale that you can think of.
I can't. I won't.
Mine does not work because it's no longer the finale. Mine would have been Ted Lasso.
Oh, yeah.
But now we're getting another season. But it feels like that's going to be like a spinoff because it's the characters, but it's going to be focused on a girls' team. So do you still consider that the Ted Lasso core, or does it almost feel like a spinoff?
Yeah, because I would have also said Shrinking, but they're doing a season 4 of that too. So all
right. Well, speaking of not good, but okay, Euphoria ended. every time you watched Euphoria this season with me, what would be describe Euphoria in one sentence for your limited knowledge of it?
I don't know.
You can't come up with one
No,
sentence.
that's it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Every time I
Alright.
watch it, I don't know what's going on here.
When you watched it, there was like a pig in the living room at one point.
And then there's a guy on a horse. And then like
Zendaya.
Sydney Sweeney has turned into a giant, and she's roaming around a city, basically naked. I
I'm
don't know.
glad that sticks out for you, that particular scene. Well, I'm glad that on June 5th, 2026, when I thought we were probably going to podcast, I decided to write down Euphoria thoughts. I have a notes app. So I'm just going to go through this. This is my section called likes. Likes. And this is about the finale and not really the series as a whole. So and they have confirmed that season 3 Euphoria is done. Supposedly we might be getting a Cassie Maddie spinoff. We'll see. So likes. Cassie and Maddie being an endgame of sorts. It was never truly about Nate. I agree.
You're agreeing with yourself.
I do. I agree with myself from the past. Sounds like the Naja doll from.
You wrote the notes. You don't have to say I
I'm
agree.
very smart. Like sometimes I might have like not agreed with what
next,
I said.
What's next? What's next for you to agree with?
Coleman, taking over. Oh, Coleman Domingo, who's in the 4 seasons, which we also just watched, but he also was in Euphoria. I forgot he was a character in Euphoria. I was like, oh, that's right, he's in the show. He played Rue's AA sponsor. He kind of took over. I said, Coleman taking over main character energy because he's a good actor and this show is wild. So why not? Him avenging Rue and taking out Alamo. Chef's kiss. So obviously he got, spoiler alert, major, Rue dies.
Alamo being a person, not
A person,
the
not
the
remember the
building,
Alamo.
not the building.
Alamo was like the villain of the season, kind of the guy that was like running the club. I know you watched part of that episode. But yeah, so Rue, the main character of Euphoria, I've had to watch 11 on Stranger Things die in a horrible way, and now I had to watch Rue die in the worst way possible. So, like, please stop making these lead female characters suffer the entire series only to die in the end. I beg of you. Although maybe 11's not really live. I think we're back on for Conformity Gate. Anyway, I liked that. The scene, other categories in likes, the scene of Rue in the old neighborhood and the tribute to Agnes, who played the character of Fezco. That actor passed away in real life. They did a little tribute scene to him. I thought that was nice. And the old neighborhood vibes reminded me of the first 2 seasons when the show was better. Cassie telling Lexi Rue had a nice smile. I thought that was, finally, we had a nice sister moment between Cassie and Lexi. Bishop betraying Alamo. That was like his little henchman. He screwed
From
him
the
over at
X-Men?
end. Bishop is the character
Okay.
in Euphoria. There's a character named Bishop in X-Men.
Yes.
And how many X-Men are there? Seeing Cassie in Nate's house again. Apparently, that's a real house in LA, and I liked it enough that I included it in my likes section. Dislikes. First sentence, where to start? Rue dying. Oh, I already ran. Oh, it's like I agree with myself. Another female character that suffers the entire series and doesn't make it in the end. I saw it coming but hated it. Plus, she died in the worst way possible. Fentanyl overdose. Terrible. Awful. And it happened first 35 to 45 minutes of the which the episode is very long.
At this point, why am I even on the podcast? You're just over here talking to yourself about yourself from the past.
I also believe that Fezco broke out of prison by parkouring because this show has been so bizarre, so I didn't clock it that Rue was ODing until she got to the old neighborhood and had flashbacks. Then I soon realized she wasn't narrating. So normally I would have been like, okay, he parkoured to escape prison. That's weird, but I mean, it's Euphoria. So I was like, well, it checks out. And then I realized, I was like, oh no. Jules' arc this entire season. What an absolute waste. And then her last scene is still with Sam from True Blood, her sugar daddy. It's the actor. I don't know what his name is. And she's painting Rue in hell. Please be so for real. Bishop's flip on Alamo. Was he that charmed by Maddie? Was he playing a long game? Score to settle? Supposedly they cut scenes explaining this. And why cut those scenes but keep in multiple shots of Sydney half naked? But apparently
I think we
that's
know.
what you remember.
I think we know why.
Lexi not knowing Nate died, so does no one know? Did they just put his body back in the ground? Question mark. The time jump and not actually seeing Rue's friends react to her death. That annoyed me greatly. I agree. The weird forcing of religion at the end fell off with Lexi and then the end, etc. Cassie, just being an idiot. I always had a soft spot for Cassie, and they basically rendered her a joke this season, as you so eloquently pointed out. Lack of Labyrinth music,
Who?
which is important.
You or
for
me? Who pointed that out?
You pointed out
Okay.
Cassie. So that was my Euphoria notes written on
I think
early June.
I'm sorry. You just actually actively recreated what it's like watching an episode of Euphoria by reading those notes.
I guess so. So speaking of Colman Domingo, we also watched The Four Seasons season 2. That is a show on Netflix. It is not about the musical group The Four Seasons. It is about the, nature seasons of this friend group. I don't want to explain too much about it. Steve Carell's in the first season. He does show up in season 2. Tina Fey's in it. The other guy from SNL, I forget his name. What is his name?
I don't know.
He has a very distinct voice. I always remember him as the guy that guest starred on Parks and Rec that wanted Twilight to be buried in the time capsule.
He's MacGruber, isn't he? Whoever
Yes,
plays MacGruber,
yes.
So.
That's what he's in. Jeshua from Superstore. She's been in a lot of stuff. She plays Anne in the show.
We talked about season 1 on this podcast.
I know, but
Okay.
do you think these people are going to remember? Do you think all 2 of the people that are sticking around listening are going to remember? I guess that the major thing with what happened to Steve Carell's character at the end of season, I feel like this is a show that didn't need a season 2.
Yeah, it didn't.
We watched it very quickly, and I'll watch season 3 at the same pace.
it was entertaining and funny.
It was fine.
But, yeah, exactly. It was fine. Like it
got us through.
Yeah.
Got us through. In
You've
between.
made me watch much worse things, like something else we're going to talk about here on this soon.
Yeah, but I don't really have too much to say about it. The second season was fine. When I say it's fine, I mean it's perfectly enjoyable. I know they are confirmed for a season 3.
Yeah, David Tennant shows up at the end, so.
Oh yeah, because he's the neighbor in Italy. Did anything majorly stick out to you? Did you write any notes in your phone about it while we were watching it?
No.
I wish they would make a show about the Four Seasons, the musical group, though.
Okay, you go ahead and pitch that.
All right, speaking of Steve Carell, look at these great transitions.
It's almost like you made the notes.
I agree with myself. We watched another show called Rooster. This is on, is it HBO? I never know what they call it still. HBO
It's the
Max?
HBO one, whatever that one's called.
I don't know. I think the entire season was already out when we watched
Yep.
it. Was it a weekly release? Was it all at once?
I don't know. I think it was weekly.
I'm not sure I would have taken it. Maybe so, because I was basically, we started it when I was sick. If we had just watched it 2 minutes longer, I would have been immediately locked in.
Yeah.
Is it John C. McGinley? Is that his name? The guy, I always think of him as Dr. Cox from Scrubs. He's in it. And there's this scene, because basically Rooster is an author. His ex-wife is really involved with this college. His daughter is a professor at this college. He's going to teach a pass-fail type class, even though he never graduated from college. But he's I would say he's a decently famous author. People know about his books called Rooster. So he's had some success. He seems to be doing well, financially probably, maybe not personally. And we finally, all the content ran out. So I was like, okay, let's watch it. We'll pick up where we left off. If we had just lasted 30 seconds longer. So John C. McGinley, his character, he's the dean, right? Of school.
No, I think he's the president.
Oh, he's the president.
Yeah,
because
he's in charge of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's the president, and Steve Carell's character Rooster is well, I didn't really graduate college. I don't know if I should be taking this job. And he's like, who cares? When he's the president of a college, and that's the joke. You gotta watch the joke for yourself because I'm not telling it as well. But I had to pause the TV because I was laughing so hard. I'm like, so you're the president of the college? She's like, who cares? Who cares about college?
College.
It doesn't
overrated.
matter. Is that what he said?
I'm pretty sure it was overrated.
Yeah, overrated. That's what he said. He's like, it's overrated. This show, I feel like it was pretty good. I think are they confirmed for season 2?
I think so, yeah.
It's definitely a different show for Steve Carell. I think he has a lot of range as an actor, I would say.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So if you're looking for Michael Scott, you're not going to get that. If you're looking for, his 40-year-old virgin character, you're not going to get that. If you've seen 4 seasons, you're not going to get that. I'd say Rooster is one of his more likable characters.
Yeah,
Michael
for sure.
Scott's likable, but in a cringe way. This is likable in a different way. I've never seen I feel like I'm the one that characters mirror on TV. There are so many
Go
things that like you had in common with this character to the point it was almost off-putting. I can't even think of any examples. Do you have any examples off your head right now?
I do not. My head is my head is off in places right now, so I don't really have an example.
Maybe when he like showed up and he was like bleeding on his first day of class, it's like, oh, it's just a scratch, and he's still fumbling along because he wore this. Did he wear the shoes and he like fell?
Yeah, he fell down the like hill or something. So, no, I liked the show. I thought it was really funny. Give me more seasons of it, please.
It had a good cast of core
the cast
characters.
was good and entertaining.
My worry is that season 2, you're gonna have to break up the band a little.
Well, they've already hinted at that with.
His ex-wife is played by Connie Britton.
Yeah, with
of Friday Night Lights fame.
And we won't say too much, but with what goes down with her character there at the end, they're already planning that. So that's the seeds of the character breakup. So
I have heard a lot of people kind of say that they thought this show was boring a little bit, like online, I think these are a lot of Office fans. So I don't think it was boring at all. I thought it was better than fine for me. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. Like I'm looking forward. It's not just I will watch season 2. I will be looking forward to season 2 when it comes out.
And with a lot of my favorite shows, going off the air, like Hacks ending, I need some new shows to fill the void.
Now, next up is a show I think both of us are really looking forward to hopefully having a season. I mean, it's confirmed to have a season 2, but it just finished its run, so we're at a minimum a year out. And that would be Apple TV's Widow's Bay.
Widow's Bay could absolutely overtake The Pit for me for my best thing going, and that's just based off of 1 season. I feel like I need to see a little more, but I have not felt this high from a TV show in a really long time. Not even like Off Campus that I really liked. It's just this show it's very us coded.
Mm-hmm.
It is essentially, and they are the same writers, I believe, from Parks and Rec. It is spooky Parks and Rec. I'm not, for people that just like the horror, there is some jump scares, enough of a horror mystery that I think you're still going to like it. But there's just some really humor sprinkled in that Parks and Rec style that is just great. And I feel like none of the episodes are boring, but I feel like once you get to whenever it's the Patricia's Cocktails episode, Sunset Cocktails is really where I was locked in. And there's only 8 episodes. I think this was a weekly release.
That was 10.
There was 10?
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
I'm very sure there were 10.
I'm looking that up.
There's absolutely 10. Yes, I'm not wrong at all. But I agree with you. This show, Widow's Bay is great. Everybody should go watch it. It might not be for everybody, but I think this show just had everything. It had that thriller horror element to it, but it was funny in a really dry way. It's also got a mystery that I think is interesting. And I do think that, unlike some other shows,
for the first time in history, Daniel was right. There was 10 episodes.
Unlike some shows that the mystery might not really ever get a payoff, Severance. I think they know what the mystery is for this show, and they will pay that off over the course of however many seasons they get. So, yeah, I think this show's got everything for me, personally.
And see, I probably thought it was only 8 episodes because we breezed through it so quickly, because it is that good. And what I really like about it is we have the overarching mystery of the island. Basically, if you're born on that island, you can't leave or you die. That's one of the main mysteries. What's happening to this? Why is this happening? How do we deal with this? Is there a monster on the island? Is it simply haunted? We have all this, but then each episode also kind of has almost like a monster of the week feel in a way that's kind of tied together. And I really like that. Some of it is some of the horror-y tropes. We had the book that was basically an evil grimoire, right? You would say.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right phrasing.
Yeah. There's the hag.
The sea hag.
The sea hag.
How does she kill you? She'll sit on your face. Might I suggest a different headpiece? Why didn't you say anything? I had my qualms. Was being supportive. Rosemary, great character. Patricia, I think, might be my favorite character of 2026 so far on any TV show. We ride for Dawn and Patricia. Who is your favorite character?
Patricia.
Patricia. We love Patricia. I have heard some of my other podcasts that I listen to start talking about Widow's Bay. I have not heard a lot of like people I personally know. So if you don't have Apple, get it. You know you're going to want it back when Ted Lasso season 4 comes out anyway.
And if you haven't been watching Shrinking, what are you doing with yourself?
Yeah, go ahead and do that. Give Widow's Bay a try. I think it's going to scratch that itch if you like a little mystery horror, but it's a show that you can still watch and go to bed without being like, oh my gosh, I have to keep the lights. It's not like The Haunting of Hill House where I had to like keep the light on if I was going to bed. Like, oh my gosh, you're still going to be able to do that. It's mixed in with, and the humor is just at the right moments that makes it so good. It really is, I think, spooky Parks and Rec. And I loved it, and I'm so sad it's over because I need more. I hope they don't make us wait long.
You know, I gotta say, before we go to the next show, they don't have a huge catalog, but Apple TV Plus like has a stacked catalog.
When they put out a show, it's pretty good.
And I feel like there's not a ton of Apple TV Plus shows where
is it Apple TV Plus now?
Well, I don't know what they call it. where it's one season and then they just dump it.
Yeah,
like a lot of the stuff, they give their shows a chance to be whatever they're going to be. So
and I feel like really other than Severance, like Shrinking, we've gotten Shrinking each year.
Yeah.
Like,
Most
it
of the
has
shows,
not been a huge long. So I'm hopeful.
Even Ted Lasso, which I know was only 3 seasons, but it didn't have a ton of gap in between. This obviously the 4th season's because they thought they were done. But yeah, Severance is the exception there. But even some of their sci-fi shows, which are bigger budget, haven't had the kind of gaps that Severance has. So I think Severance really is the outlier for Apple TV.
It's probably Lumen.
Yeah.
Messing everything up. Well, going from great to awful, I finally get Daniel. I was like, there's this new show. It's supposed to be like The Summer I Turned Pretty. So let's see. We've been, let's start us off in January. The fandoms that like a lot of shows like me, which you watched Heated Rivalry, you like it. We had Heated Rivalry. We went from Heated Rivalry. Well, actually, let's go back to the fall. We had The Summer I Turned Pretty final season. We went right into Heated Rivalry. Then we went into Bridgerton. Then we went into Off Campus. So that's like 4 shows in a row of being so well fed and that kind of YA drama that I just love. And I'm like, all right, let's go to the lake. Let's spin the lake at Barry's Bay. I think that's what it's called. I thankfully did not read these books first because, I haven't really had time to sit down and read a brand new series. But we all thought it was going to be the next The Summer I Turned Pretty. It might be. I feel like Dollar General Summer I Turned Pretty is too nice. So maybe like the Sheen version, Family Dollar version. I mean, it wasn't. I guess I'll go ahead and say Dollar General because there was sometimes Dollar General has nice things, and I did kind of like some of the back half of the episodes. You probably disagree with me entirely. Were a little better than the beginning, and I would like them to have a season 2 because it's going to focus on one of the only characters I liked in the show. But I finally get Daniel to agree. He's like, I'll watch this with you if you watch Spider Noir with me. So we agree. It's like, and you did watch Bridgerton, so I'll give you that. You watched a lot of Bridgerton, so I need to give you some credit there. But you didn't really watch much of The Summer I Turned Pretty, and you watched here and there of Heated Rivalry. You obviously didn't watch Off Campus.
I watched most of Heated Rivalry.
You did, I guess. Thank you. But it was supposed to be more like The Summer I Turned Pretty vibe, and it just, other than like a girl and 2 brothers that she spends summer with, it was absolutely nothing like The Summer I Turned Pretty. The show is called, I keep calling it the wrong name. It's Every Year After. It is on Amazon Prime, and I feel like even the book fans, everybody's disappointed. Book fans are mad because they changed a lot of stuff, and not for the better. They actually made the characters worse. I'm like, worse! I hate to dunk on actors, but maybe I'm going to say lack of chemistry.
This show was a soggy turd sandwich. The acting was terrible. The plot was terrible, and the characters, even if you had put great actors in those roles, were unlikable at best.
Okay. And it's the girl from the Girl Next Door movie. ended up playing, and she's also on The Ranch. Alicia Cuthbert, I think is her name. She plays the mom. So what does it have in common with The Summer I Turned Pretty? A mom that, passes away.
Dead mom.
And 2 brothers and a girl. This even though there's some, overlapping with both brothers, it's really, there's not a love triangle here at all. Like, I wouldn't call it, like, even though she like hooks up with one of the brothers, like both of them, it's not really.
It is a central plot point.
It's a central plot point, but there's no love triangle. Like, they aren't like super into each other. It was a mistake, essentially, which does become like the main plot point, like the worst. And the way they did this
sucked.
Because they would have them go back. They would go back between like when they were kids, and once they were like old, like teens, they had the same actors playing. But sometimes you wouldn't be able to tell. What did you say you missed?
I missed the piss filter.
That shows you were back in time. It wasn't that, and it would
they
be
did
like
no kind of camera tricks to try and illuminate to you that you are back in time in a flashback. So it was up to you to recognize.
They didn't even change their hair that much,
or clothing styles. And we're talking about what? We're talking about present day, flashing back to 2015. So it's not even like that much is different. It was awful. There was absolutely.
It was 2016.
No, there was no. Like, again, give me the piss filter.
And like, I think we like the older version and the girls. Okay, if my name was Persephone, I would never call myself Percy. The whole time I was like Percy Jackson, and then like we're like into the show, and the guy's like, "Oh, you mean like Percy Jackson?" And I'm like, "Oh, see, we're not the only ones that thought that immediately." But Persephone is a baddie name. Why are you calling yourself Percy? Persephone is an awesome name. So already, the 2 main characters, Percy and Sam,
suck.
Might be the most unlikable characters. Not of all time, but like you do not like. I was not rooting for them because they were like making horrible decisions. Like we're basically rooting for cheaters at this point,
Mm-hmm.
It just, but we finished it. We finished it. Charlie, the older brother, his book apparently is like the book everybody likes, and I'm like, I'd be interested to see his season.
I'm out.
I did like all the side characters. No, you're in this. We're on this together. You're a part of this team. I liked the side character storylines were what carried me through this show.
Not me. Because those were just as bad.
Did you like anything about it? The main character reads the Dark Tower series. She's not like other girls.
That made me hate the Dark Tower series.
And she really likes Lord of the Rings. So like there's a lot of stuff that like Daniel likes that like the main character would reference that she liked. I was like, see, you guys are the same. Oh, pierogies. A lot of people on TikTok are calling it the summer I made pierogies because you did not like the name of the restaurant in the show.
Because it was...
the Tavern Pub.
The Tavern Pub. What are you talking about? That's the same thing.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything else to say about it other than what a flop. And it almost reminded me of like if Jeremiah, like I guess so to speak, won on The Summer I Turned Pretty. Because Sam, I didn't like him at all. Who was the main love interest, the younger brother. It's just, the chemistry, no chemistry. It was, if you're looking for something and you haven't seen Off Campus, go watch that instead. Go watch Widow's Bay. Go
watch
just
paint
rewatch Off Campus.
Watch your grass grow.
Go watch old episodes of the OC because this show ain't it. In exchange, I agreed to watch Spider Noir, which is pretty good. We will talk more about that in a future podcast. Hopefully, we'll be back before July 31st. We'll see. We're not finished with it yet because The Bear did drop some episodes. So we started that, and we got really into Widow's Bay. So we're going to be circling back to Spider Noir, which is also on Amazon Prime. It stars Nicolas
to answer
Cage.
your question, she wouldn't let me watch it black and white.
I'm sorry that things trigger my migraines. Do you want me to have a migraine?
No. I was just clarifying for everybody.
I'll just push you down the stairs. Just kidding.
Oh.
That got violent.
Now we got motive here, everybody.
But Spider Noir, I like it so far. I always figured I would, but I have to come to mind on my own. What do you think about it so far?
I like it. I think, it's different. It's definitely nailing that noir feeling. So we'll talk about that more.
All right. And to finish things off, we have watched several movies. We rented the drama, the one with Zendaya and Rob Pattinson. the twist is revealed within the first 5 minutes, but I don't want to go ahead and watch that movie if you want to know. I had wanted to see this in theaters, but now I see, knowing what the twist is, which is basically where her character has to reveal the worst thing she's ever done. I see why it didn't last long in theaters, because it's very controversial. And that's all I'm going to say about it. But I didn't hate it. It was a dark comedy, but I'm like, oh, I see why this did not last long. You caught it artsy fartsy.
I'll say right now.
And you like artsy fartsy
I don't
stuff.
think
So
it didn't. I don't think it didn't last long in theaters because of the controversial topic. I think it didn't last long because nobody cared.
You normally like artsy fartsy stuff.
Well, I guess I found my limit.
All right. And then without you, I saw Toy Story 5. I believe I was on a record of this podcast saying that it probably never needed to be made, just like Toy Story 4 didn't need to be made, but I'm glad they made it because it was great. I saw it with my nephew. You will watch it later on Disney Plus. You were invited to come, but you declined. You instead, I think you painted part of the kitchen that day.
I did not fall off the kitchen counter.
Tiny Tim, who did not die. Although you told me you wobbled at one point. I was like, that's nice. I did not. Okay, so the first Toy Story trilogy, I think we're both in agreement of this, is one of the best trilogies. Perfect. No notes. 1 through 3. Amazing. Toy Story 4 is not a bad movie, but it's nowhere near the level of these three, of the first three. I can tell you that Toy Story 5 is significantly better than Toy Story 4. I'm not sure I'm going to put it still above those first three, but it was really, really good. And I was definitely excited, and I will fully admit that when I found out that Taylor Swift was doing a song for the movie, because we were all kind of speculating, I knew it, I knew you, great song. I got more excited, and I am a Toy Story girly. If you ask me what is my favorite Disney Pixar movie, I just say Toy Story. And when I say Toy Story, I'm at least referring to the first three. When you ask me Disney Pixar, I usually go Aladdin, the Toy Story series. It's up there. I adore Toy Story. Jessie, which we don't even meet her in the first one, we meet her in the second one, is one of my absolute favorite characters. So, of course, I was always going to go see Toy Story 5, but I'll admit that the fourth one, while not a bad movie, it felt like it was made for TV, like it didn't touch the other three. And you agree with me having seen Toy Story 4, correct?
Yeah.
But what the fourth one I felt like lacked, they got back to that in the fifth one. The emotions of the toys, but also us as humans and growing up in those themes, and it really tugged at my heartstrings. I mean, like, we were basically Andy when the first one came out. We were little kids, and now I'm like Andy's mom now, honestly. Like, we're like the adults. I thought the way they were marketing, like, it's going to be the toys against tech. So there was that element, but it was also the element of, letting kids grow up, finding your true friends. It was just it brought back those emotions that make the first three Toy Story movies so good. So I don't want to say too much more about that. Obviously, as a Jessie fan, this was kind of her story, her movie to shine. I knew I was cooked within the first 2 minutes when they started playing Jessie's backstory. They kind of did the flashback again. That when somebody loved me, I'm like, oh, great. I'm unwell already because, do you agree that's one of the saddest moments ever?
I do, yes.
We do finally get some closure with Emily and a beautiful scene that had me, the lady behind me, my nephew was upset. Probably not a dry eye in the house. I haven't heard this many people collectively crying in the theater since I saw Wicked for Good back in November. And I would say just like when I went to see the live action Stitch, I mean, there were some kids in our theater, but it was a good mix. There was a lot of people that were just, grown-ups there because we've all grown up with Toy Story. So it was just that collective experience with clearly everybody who's a fan of that movie in there. Or the franchise, and it was beautiful. I'm really glad I brought tissues. I cried so much. My nephew and we had to get the popcorn buckets and cups, so I got the Jessie cup. I think I was more excited than any person in that theater. I said, do you guys have any of the cup combos left? And I'm thinking like, oh, probably Jessie's going to be sold out. She's like, yeah, we have all three. I'm like, you mean I can get a Jessie cup, which is now on my bookshelf? Just what you wanted, right? Another cup for this house?
Oh, it's just over the moon.
Over the moon. But it was a great movie. I think it brought back what makes Toy Story special. What do you think of the song? You said some good things about the song in the car that I knew.
I liked the song the first 55,000 times I heard it.
You are such a barrel of sunshine. Daniel actually said, I really think this is one of her best singles since The Fate of Ophelia, and I like it most. You're like, and I like it better than almost anything on her previous album. And you also said that you thought it worked really well with the vibe of Toy Story. These are what you said to me in the car.
Played it for me
over and over and over again.
Over and over and over again.
Do you like the piano version?
Yeah.
Do you think that it had that? Can you tell that she did kind of study like Randy Newman? You know, like You Got a Friend in Me.
Absolutely.
You just don't like it when I play songs on repeat over and over and over again. Weren't you glad I'm not playing Noah Kahan on repeat over and over again, because that was really bumming us all out?
Well, I like that. So
you just like to be sad sack Daniel.
But that was Noah Kahan was one album consisting of 20
I played Dashboard
songs
over. I played Dashboard like at least 20 times in a row one day.
Not with me present.
Yes, you were present. Maybe you weirdly are in a good mood when you're listening to Noah. I don't know. I like when you know I'm listening to Noah at like 8 a.m. It means I haven't given the day a chance.
Well, speaking about not giving the day a chance, we watched The Backrooms.
Yes, we saw that. I think it came out in early or late May, and we saw that this past weekend. Daniel was able to sit comfortably. So what do you have to do when you need to get your mind off of, a terrible injury? You go watch a comforting movie about backrooms and demonic presences and scary things.
I liked it. I thought it was really good.
I really liked it too. I think the director is like 20 years old?
Yeah, he's very young.
If you're not familiar with the concept of Backrooms, there's some YouTube shorts that sort of I think inspired it.
That he made. The director of the movie made the famous YouTube shorts that led to this movie being made.
And now I wanted to see it when I started seeing a bunch of references. I was like, oh, this is Backrooms coded and be a really creepy places. I thought that it was a really good, there was some scary, again, if you're there for strictly full-blown horror, you might be disappointed a little bit. There was jump scares, which I felt were earned. Do I think the overall monster was scary? Probably not, but it was creepy. But I think for me, it was the think piece of it.
Yeah.
Like how we see ourselves. The reflections of ourselves is never reality. So in the back rooms, you could go through the back rooms and it would be stuff that would be sort of supposed to be like what exists in reality, but it was never completely replicated in the fullest form, if that makes sense. And it was a really good look at how we see ourselves, how we see situations, how things are reflected, how our memories
and how
work.
the farther away you get from an event, the more fractured that memory of that event can be.
Yes, and how certain memories can also, they stick with you throughout your life and can get distorted and change. So I think from that perspective, it was really good. I didn't find it boring. I was entertained from start to finish. And it really was quite relaxing, even though I wouldn't call that a relaxing movie. I'm really glad we were able to go see that. It has the lead actor is, I don't know if he won an Oscar. I'd have to look that up, but I know 12 Years a Slave won. I'm pretty sure 12 Years a Slave won Best Picture.
Yeah.
And I think 2013, I want to say.
It's been a while.
Won Best Picture. And he's also the villain in, Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
And then Alice from Shrinking, she has a small role in it. The rest of the cast, I would say, I know Charlie from The Morning Show. He has a couple brief roles in it, but the rest of the cast, I'd say, is relatively unknown, at least to me. But it was really good. I don't know, what stood out to you the most about Backrooms? If you had to pick one thing.
I thought the story was well put together and had something to say, which, sorry, horror fans, not all your horror movies have something to say, or at least something useful to say. But I also thought the cinematography was great. I thought that the way, because if you're familiar with the Backrooms kind of mythology on the internet, this could have been a very bland movie to look at.
Yeah.
Because of the nature of the Backrooms, they're supposed to be very samey, very yellowy, very not distinct in order to cause that kind of confusion. But I thought the way that they shot it and the way that they sometimes mixed into the handheld VCR camcorder because
like
this
Blair
movie was set
Witchy.
in the 90s. Yeah, kind of like a Blair Witchy, but then they went back and forth to the regular stuff, and they switched around and did stuff. I thought that was kept it looking fresh and interesting, and so I thought it looked really good, and I thought the camera work was really well done.
I don't know how much longer it's going to be in theaters, but I would recommend if you can't see it in theaters, try to get it on digital, or if it ultimately will hopefully hit a streaming service. I will say one more thing, but I don't want to spoil it. My favorite scene, and you're probably gonna, and some of you might be like, oh, that's just because you like Christmas. Not so much.
Oh yeah,
Was the Christmas room. So prepare yourself for the Christmas room if you
when you
see
when you see the
backrooms.
Christmas tree show up, tense up a little bit.
Yeah. What did they say? Hold on your butts. All right. So I watched one more movie without you. This was recommended to me by some of you guys. You guys know me so well. Voicemails for Isabel on Netflix. It's a rom-com, but y'all, I knew when I'm 14 minutes into this thing and I've cried 3 times. I was like, oh, as soon as I realized, I was like, oh, it's about her sister. Her sister has cystic fibrosis. We're having flashbacks of the kid. Oh no, something bad's going to happen. And, the sister does pass away. And the whole concept is she's still been calling her sister, and she listens to her sister's old voicemails, and she's been calling her sister's phone and leaving voicemails talking about her life. The main character does this. And that phone, eventually somebody doesn't, there's the new numbers, phones and stuff sometimes will get taken by other people. And a guy is getting all these voicemails, and it turns into a very romantic story. Daniel decided to watch some of it with me randomly,
Creepy.
even though you were not invited, and chimed in with your own opinions.
I'm sorry. In a real world scenario, what that guy did, everybody would consider creepy. And if he didn't look
Well,
like
that was the central, climax of the movie, like where they fight, when it's revealed what he did, that he was listening to the voicemails, and then
yeah. Except
Are you saying like he was an uggo that no one would like
except
it?
she wouldn't have just been like so forgiving, and ultimately they ended up together, which I'm assuming what happened, right?
What if she was an uggo? Do you think he would have
Yeah,
continued to pursue her?
I don't think any of this would have gone down the way it
Uggos
went
deserve
down.
love too.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not saying that's right. All I'm saying is that if it was your average guy who was listening to these phone calls and
What
then
a
taking
killjoy.
advantage of the information he's gaining from these voicemails, that would not be cool in the real world.
Well, it was an enjoyable movie. As I've said before on this podcast, make more. Even though this was sad, I'd still mostly put it rom-com. Make more of them, and I will watch them. And sometimes, Daniel, it's just we want to live outside of that. Nick Offerman was in it, though. He played like a weird, like chef. It was just, it was good. So thank you guys for recommending that. We have started The Bear, which was once best going show on this. It is in its final season. We have not finished that yet. I would love to not have to wait until July 31st to podcast, but we'll see how it goes. That's why we're just giving you, like the WVU Super Regional. We're giving you the super-sized podcasts.
X-Men starts this week.
Yes, I will actually go through that list real quick.
Oh.
Because I'm like, I could wait for another podcast, but we don't know. July 1st, X-Men 97 is coming back on Disney+. That is a weekly
I just
release.
can't wait for the theme song, so.
July 9th, I'm going to be locked and loaded for this one. You can join me if you want. Little House on the Prairie.
Pass.
Netflix. All episodes. You didn't watch the original Little House on the Prairie?
No.
I don't know how they're going to make a hotter Paul because Michael Landon could get it back in the day. I keep seeing people, they're like, oh, Netflix is just going to do a woke version of Little House on the Prairie. And I'm like, go back and rewatch Little House on the Prairie. That was always woke. And I used to read those books too. But the show was woke back then. That would have aired in the 80s, I think. All right. July 23rd, Daniel, Star Trek, Strange New Worlds. Paramount Plus weekly release. This is season 4, right?
Yeah.
Season 4. I feel like did we not get a new season last year? Or did we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, we did. I just feel like we've been waiting a really long time for it. Maybe I missed Star Trek.
We haven't really.
Maybe I missed Star Trek. I don't know.
I think you do.
All right, August 5th, Ted Lasso, season 4, Apple TV, also weekly release. August 20th, Outer Banks, season 5.
Oh
Hopefully
my
the
God,
last.
doing more of
Netflix.
that?
All at once.
Oh.
Fall 2026. Nobody Wants This is supposed to come back on Netflix. I don't think they have a date yet. Unless they have, I made these notes on June 18th. Because my first thing was June 10th. Every year after Prime, all episodes. Well, we watched that one. It was a bust. Late 2026, possibly early 2027. Ginny and Georgia season 4 Netflix. I don't know if that's confirmed to be the last season or not, but we did watch some Ginny and Georgia. So that's
I can't wait to see how old the kid looks.
Oh, that plays Austin. He looks, I think, like a 20-year-old now. Like, is he supposed to be like 8?
I'm married.
And then circling clear back, if you've stuck with us this entire episode, is just our poll of more movies to come. Do you really not have any movie that you're excited for the back half of the year?
No, because I'm terrified of Doomsday. Right? Like I think it's going to be a mess.
But you're still going to see it.
I know a lot of people were excited for the Odyssey, and I couldn't. I don't care.
Is that Christopher Nolan?
Yeah, I don't care. I like Christopher Nolan's movies. I don't care about the Odyssey. I don't care. No one's going to make me care. Christopher Nolan directing it isn't going to make me care about the Odyssey.
What about Dune 3?
Dune,
I guess. Doomsday.
I guess I'm a little excited for Dune. But at the same time, I know less about. So the first 2 movies covered the events of the first book.
Yes.
And this movie is kind of talking about the second book, but also sounds like maybe they're going a little off script. So
I'm gonna need previously on Dune because I don't remember what happened. What about
and like Spider-Man is like sure I guess. Supergirl is like out now and like we'll see it.
I'm excited for Supergirl.
But it's DC. I mean, it's the end of the day. It's still DC stuff. And while Superman was good,
Superman was your favorite movie that you saw last summer. You said it was better than Fantastic Four.
And Peacemaker, I obviously have talked about on this podcast a lot that I like a lot. The DC characters are other than Batman are still not my favorite Jimmy Jam.
But yet you're scared of Doomsday. I agree with you that Doomsday could be messy.
I think it's going to be a mess, and
they're probably going to kill off Loki.
Maybe they are able to turn it into a beautiful mess, but I think at a minimum it's going to be a mess one way or the other.
I'm excited for Sunrise on the Reaping, the Hunger Games prequel with Haymitch. I feel like there's a lot of good stuff coming out. You and I have some different takes. It's like you don't have a movie that you're like super locked in.
I do not.
And ready for.
I do not.
All right. So before we wrap up this podcast, what is worse, Daniel? Is it pulling your hamstring or falling down the stairs?
I gotta say the hamstring, and while the falling down the stairs was scary.
Yeah.
And it hurt.
And loud.
And my ankle swelled up and everything. The pop of the hamstring, the fact that I was doing nothing that I felt like was like this, I was just on flat surface, just sitting some boxes down. I think I was more surprised about the injury, and certainly, the ankle was a week or 2, and I was kind of back to usual. Like the swelling was still there, but I was moving around fine. Whereas this is like, looking at 6 to 8 weeks to get this thing back together.
At least your Star Trek characters are coming back to help heal you.
I know. The only downside is I have to get Paramount Plus back.
Well, live long and prosper.